This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here today for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Gitsky. Well, starting today, you'll have to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test in order to attend a large indoor event in California. Now, the rule announced last month applies to indoor events where 1,000 or more people will be in attendance. The old requirement was lowered from events with 5,000 or more. An alarming increase in coronavirus cases driven by the more infectious Delta variant was a major factor in state health officials' decision to alter California's policy. Venues will be in charge of implementing the protocol. The changes will remain in place until November 1st. Well, the new rules come into effect just 3 days before the start of the Kern County Fair. Proof of vaccination, a negative test, and mask will not be required to attend the fair since the event is largely outdoors. But public health officials are urging the community to be safe if they plan on going.
I just want to say that masks still are a great way to slow the spread of infection. You should wear them when you go to the fair. And of course, I think, honestly, the single best thing you could do if you are going to the fair this year is vaccinate yourself to protect not only yourself, but others.
The fair runs from Wednesday through October 3rd at the Kern County Fairgrounds. Now to the latest numbers here in Kern County after the weekend. Public Health reporting 1,445 new cases. Reminder, this number includes all tests since Friday. Meantime, no new deaths were reported. Our death toll sits at 1,515 lives lost to the virus since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, the good news, the average number of people getting sick each day is declining. However, state data shows 306 people are in the hospital with COVID-19. Another 75 are in the ICU. Meantime, Pfizer has announced that its COVID-19 vaccine is safe and effective for children aged 5 to 11. Pfizer says the collected data by the drug maker, along with its German partner BioNTech, shows children develop coronavirus fighting antibodies on a level equal to teenagers and young adults after a 2-shot regimen. The dosages used in those shots were about a third of what adults were given. Pfizer now plans to use this data to seek approval from U.S. regulators to begin offering vaccinations to children in that age group. The drug maker says it also is awaiting results from a study looking at vaccine effectiveness on children as young as 6 months old. The results of these studies are expected later this year.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
Now to a signature issue here at TV 17, pedestrian safety. A woman is recovering after being hit by a car in central Bakersfield last night. It happened in the area of Brundage Lane and Oak Street around 7:45 p.m. Bakersfield police say the woman was hit after lying in the roadway. The woman was rushed to a hospital with critical injuries. Police do say that alcohol and drugs do not appear to have been factors in that crash. Meantime, a person is dead after a car ran into an almond tree northwest of Wasco. According to CHP, the crash happened right after 2 p.m. yesterday on Wildwood Road, just south of Sherwood Avenue. CHP says a 68-year-old man was driving northbound on Wildwood Road when, for unknown reasons, the car left the roadway and hit the almond tree. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. CHP says the driver possibly suffered a medical emergency at the time of the crash. Now in education news, this year the percentage of male enrollees in colleges and universities across America hit an all-time low. 17's Chris Burton has a look at how men are represented here in schools in Kern County.
It's a trend that has been growing for decades.
It wasn't really pushed on me, you know. The only time we would see college was on, college football, watching TV, but we didn't think like we're going to go there, you know what I mean?
Men make up 51% of Americans ages 18 to 29, but they account for just over 40% of college attendees nationwide. At Cal State University Bakersfield, the numbers are even starker. Per 2020 enrollment data, only 35% of CSUB's student body, graduate and undergraduate, was male. For Provost Dr. Vernon Harper, a key in shifting those numbers lies in education before college, and specifically, men seeing male role models in their K-12 schools.
For me personally, the fact that I had male role models, particularly in 6th grade, Dr. Brennan was instrumental in my development as a young man.
CSUB runs outreach programs focused on encouraging men to enroll and graduate. Programs like Project Best, which, in partnership with the Kern High School District, gives assistance to young black men hoping to become teachers.
You know, our teacher education program here at the university really works extremely hard in order to create opportunities, create new teachers, and to encourage men to join that particular profession and to stand as role models.
But if men aren't going to college, what are they doing? One possible option is trade-specific education, like the classes offered at the Career Technical Education Center.
You go and be a welder or a plumber or an electrician. Those are great careers. Those are typically male-dominant careers. So that might be, you're going to see more males go into those career paths.
Isaac Vasquez graduated from Ridgeview High School in 2018. Like many of his friends, he didn't go to college.
A lot of my peers, that was the case for us. Like, some of us would do good, and we would get that, acceptance letter from a place like Fresno State, and I had some peers go there, and they eventually dropped out,
Instead, he went to work at an auto dealership, wanting to earn some money. 2 years in, Vasquez had a change of heart. He decided he wanted something different and enrolled in Orange Coast Community College, where he now studies film. If he had to do it over again?
Man, school's fun, way better than just working. If I had to start over again, I would do good in high school every year, just to at least get into like a regular Cal State, and I would go straight to university.
Now, Vasquez is trying to pursue a career in audio production. If he hadn't enrolled in higher education, he might not have found what he's now shooting for.
And that was 17's Chris Burton reporting. Well, today, Cal State Bakersfield will break ground on a new campus garden. According to school officials, all the food grown in the edible garden feeds CSUB students through the food pantry, which opened in 2017 after a survey revealed that food insecurity is an issue with the majority of local students. The garden is part of a partnership with Adventist Health and the Grimm Family Education Foundation. The search for a young woman who disappeared while on a cross-country road trip with her fiance appears to have come to a heartbreaking end. Authorities in Wyoming confirming Sunday that a body was found matching the description of Gabby Petito. It all comes as investigators in Florida search for her fiance, who hasn't been seen in nearly a week. Miguel Almaguer has more.
It's the news Gabby Petito's family hoped they'd never hear.
Earlier today, human remains were discovered, consistent with the description of Gabby Petito.
The FBI saying Sunday night that the body was found near Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming, a spot the 22-year-old and her fiance were planning to visit late last month, according to her mother.
As every parent can imagine, this is an incredibly difficult time for the family.
Gabby's devastated dad posting this picture of his daughter on social media Sunday, writing, "She touched the world." Her younger brother expressing his shock on Instagram, writing in part, "I'm at a total loss. My heart is shattered." Petito's parents first reported her missing on September 11th, 10 days after her fiance, Brian Laundrie, returned from their cross-country road trip without her. Her dad previously telling Dateline's Andrea Canning he worried he'd never see his daughter again.
I don't know if I can deal with not having my baby girl back, not holding her again.
Laundrie has refused to speak with investigators, citing advice from his attorney, and now he's nowhere to be found. His family telling police on Friday he left to go hiking at a Florida wildlife reserve last Tuesday and never returned. Investigators bringing in drones and police dogs over the weekend to look for any sign of the 23-year-old.
There's an enormous amount of pressure, I'm sure, on him to provide answers on what's going on here.
I
think our plan for today is to just hang out.
In videos posted during their cross-country road trip over the summer, Petito and Laundrie seem to be head over heels in love. But police footage from an incident in Utah appeared to reveal a rocky side to their relationship.
We've just been fighting all morning, and he wouldn't let me in the car before.
He offered to pay us like $200 to give him a ride.
Police also confirming they spoke to this woman who posted that she picked up Laundrie as he was hitchhiking alone at Grand Teton late last month. One of thousands of tips investigators are now combing through as they work to figure out how Gabby Petito's young life was cut short.
Meantime, the FBI searched Brian Laundrie's home today in Northport, Florida. It's all part of their investigation into the disappearance of Gabby, Laundrie's 22-year-old fiance. Brian Laundrie, who would not help investigators in their search for Petito, is considered a person of interest in the case and has not been seen since last Tuesday when he left to go hiking, according to his family. The FBI had several agents on the property today searching for evidence in Petito's and now Laundrie's disappearance. The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.